Good evening. You're with us on DD India. Welcome to Express News, where we bring you the top 100 news of the day from national and international spheres. Over the next half an hour, we'll update you with all that made news today in a crisp, quick manner. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let us start. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today laid the foundation stone for 4-laning of 5 sections of Sri Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj Palki Marg and 3 sections of Sri Sant Tukaram Maharaj Palki Marg in Maharashtra through video conferencing. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Modi said that Lord Vitthal has connected him with all other devotees. It is nothing less than divine enlightenment. He said that these projects will lead to better connectivity within the region and paid his respect to the devotees, saints and Lord Vitthal for his blessings for the projects. President Ramnath Kovind today conferred the Padma Awards 2020 at a civil investiture ceremony at Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah and other dignitaries attended the ceremony. The government had announced 141 Padma Awards on the eve of Republic Day in 2020. The list comprises 7 Padma Vibhushans, 16 Padma Bhushan and 118 Padma Shri Awards. Former Union Ministers Arun Jaitley, George Fernandes and Sushma Swaraj were conferred with Padma Vibhushan posthumously, along with classical singer Pandit Chanulal Mishra and former Prime Minister and President of Mauritius, Sir Anirudh Jugnauth. Arun Jaitley's wife Sangeeta Jaitley and Sushma Swaraj's daughter Basuri Swaraj received the honour from the President. Those who conferred Padma Bhushan include Muzaffar Hussain Beg from J&K, Anil Prakash Joshi from Uttarakhand, Balkrishna Doshi from Gujarat, badminton player PV Sindhu, former Chief Minister of Goa Manohar Parrikar and US-based scholar Jagdish Seth. Prominent personalities who were given Padma Shri include Captain of Women's Hockey Team Rani Rampal, singer Adnan Sami, former head scientist of ICMR Dr. Raman Gangakhedkar, Air Marshal Dr. Padma Bandyopadhyay and actress Kangana Ranaut. A senior diplomat from the High Commission of Pakistan was summoned by the Ministry of External Affairs today, and a strong protest was lodged on the incident of unprovoked firing at Indian fishermen by the Pakistani side. It was reiterated that the authorities in Pakistan consider the issue of fishermen as a humanitarian and livelihood matter. Pakistani agency fired upon an Indian fishing boat, Jalpari, on 6th of November, resulting in the death of an Indian fisherman and serious injury to another. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said that the inputs given by the Logistics Ease Across Different States Report 2021 can lead the way to bring down logistics cost by 5% over the next 5 years. He said that India is committed to build a modern infrastructure for the 21st century at a pace never seen before. He was addressing a gathering after the release of the LEEDS report in New Delhi today. Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Naravane addressed the annual webinar on Army organized by FICCI in association with the Indian Army today. The Army Chief said that the Indian Army is undergoing rapid modernization and is increasingly looking at indigenous solutions for its operational needs. He assured that the Indian Army will take lead in facilitating the vision of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Following intense rainfall and waterlogging, schools and colleges in Tamil Nadu's capital and 22 other districts remain shut today. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin visited the rain-affected areas in Chennai for the second day and helped with the relief measures. Meanwhile, the IMD has predicted more rain in the coming days. It has issued an orange alert in 14 districts. Union Minister of Education Dharmendra Pradhan today attended the convocation ceremony of Allahabad University as the chief guest. In the convocation ceremony, medals and PhDs were awarded to the meritorious students of 2018-19 and 2019-20 batches. Dharmendra Pradhan also inaugurated 3 newly constructed buildings in the university. Addressing the convocation ceremony, the Union Education Minister said that the national education policy has been implemented in the country, and he hoped that the Allahabad University will adhere to the new education policy in the coming days, adding that education in India should be based on Indian languages. The Calcutta High Court today directed the CBI and the SIT to file a fresh investigation report in connection with the West Bengal post-poll violence case by December the 23rd, which is the next date of hearing. The CBI filed the cases in compliance with the Calcutta High Court order passed on August 19 this year. The Supreme Court today continued the hearing of PIL in the Lakhimpur KHERI incident. The top court said that both incidents of mowing down of protesting farmers by a vehicle and the lynching of the accused have to be investigated upon and taken to a logical conclusion. The court recommended monitoring of the probe by a retired High Court judge and filing of separate charge sheets. In what is being seen as a boost to the BJP in Manipur, 2 Congress MLAs joined the party, BJP party today. The MLAs were inducted in the party in the presence of Union Minister Sarbanand Sonowal and BJP leader Sambit Patra at the party headquarters in New Delhi. Later, both the MLAs met BJP President JP Nadda. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted veteran BJP leader LK Advani on his birthday today. Prime Minister Modi prayed for LK Advani's long and healthy life. Later, Prime Minister Modi, along with Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, as well as BJP President JP Nadda, met the veteran leader at his residence in New Delhi. President Ramnath Kovind will preside over the 51st Conference of Governors and Lieutenant Governors on the 11th of this month at Rashtrapati Bhavan. This will be the 4th conference to be presided over President Kovind. The CRPF has ordered an inquiry into the case of fratricide in Chhattisgarh's SUKMA. CRPF said that it has ordered an inquiry into a case of fratricide at a camp under Maraiguda police station limits in Sukma district, in which 4 Jawans were killed and 3 were injured. The incident took place yesterday night when a Jawan opened fire at the CRPF camp. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh launched the first ever mentorship program for young innovators to mark the 75th year of India's independence. On the occasion, the minister said that under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the government is taking a number of steps to promote scientific temper among the masses, particularly the youngsters, by strengthening scientific research and innovation efforts in the country. The 4-day-long festival of Chhath Puja began today with the rituals of Nahai Khe. Devotees took dip in the holy rivers early in the morning and later cooked a meal for themselves. The festival is dedicated to Lord Sun, which people believe sustains life on earth. India continues to fight COVID-19 with the administration of 23,84,096 vaccine doses in the last 24 hours. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded 108 crore 47 lakhs now. The recovery of 13,204 patients in the last 24 hours has increased the cumulative tally of recovered patients since the beginning of the pandemic to 3 crore 37 lakh 63,104. Consequently, India's recovery rate stands at 98.24%. Sustained and collaborative efforts by the centre and states continue the trend of less than 50,000 daily new cases that are being reported for 134 consecutive days now. 11,451 new cases were reported in the last 24 hours. The active caseload presently stands at 1,42,826, which is the lowest in 262 days now. The active cases presently constitute 0.42% of the country's total positive cases, which is the lowest since March last year. Testing capacity across the country continues to be expanded. The last 24 hours saw a total of 8,70,058 tests being conducted. India has so far conducted over 61 crore 60 lakh cumulative tests of COVID-19. While testing capacity has been enhanced across the country, the weekly positivity rate at 1.26% remains less than 2% for the last 45 days now. The daily positivity rate is reported to be 1.32%. It has remained below 2% for the last 35 days and below 3% for 70 consecutive days now. With the identification of 10 more patients, the total number of people infected from ZIKA virus in Kanpur of Uttar Pradesh has reached 89. The Uttar Pradesh government has established an integrated command center to stop the spread of infection of Zika virus. A dedicated team of health officials has been deputed in the command center, which is working round the clock and is monitoring the situation. Kanpur district magistrate has said that the team is also helping people in giving them detailed information about the Zika virus, its spread, control and symptoms. On to business news now. The Sensex at the BSE climbed 478 points to close at 60,546. The Nifty at the National Stock Exchange rose 152 points to end at 18,069 as markets gained for the second straight session. At the NCX, the gold price remained the same in the Indian market at 47,220 rupees per 10 grams. Silver prices recorded a jump of 364 rupees at 64,602 rupees per kilo. At the Forex market, the Indian rupee jumped a hefty 43 paise to close at 74 rupees 3 paise against the US dollar. Prices of petrol and diesel were kept unchanged for the fourth consecutive day on Monday. The price of petrol in Delhi stands at 103 rupees 97 paise per litre, while that of diesel is 86 rupees 67 paise a litre. In Mumbai, petrol currently costs 109 rupees 98 paise a litre, while diesel is being retailed at 94 rupees 14 paise a litre. Oil prices rose on Monday after Saudi Arabia's state-owned oil producer, Aramco, raised the official selling price for its crude, suggesting demand remained strong at a time of tighter supplies. So Brent crude was up by 90 cents at $83.64 a barrel after dropping nearly 2% last week. The European shares opened flat on Monday after hitting record levels on Friday. This came after optimism around a strong earnings season and the European Central Bank's reiteration that inflation is temporary. This was offset by concerns ahead of US inflation data this week. Elsewhere, key Asian markets were also mixed due to a combination of last week's upbeat US October jobs report and caution ahead of a reading on US consumer prices on Wednesday that could affect the timing of a US Federal Reserve rate hike. More Chinese real estate developers would face a similar debt crisis as retailers warned a Hong Kong-based analyst on Monday. Shenzhen-based home builder Kaisa and 3 of its units had their shares suspended from trading on Friday, a day after an affiliate missed a payment to onshore investors as China's snowballing property debt crisis jolts other developers. Tesla Inc. CEO Elon Musk should sell about 10% of his Tesla stock, according to 57.9% of people who voted on his Twitter poll when he asked users of the social media network whether he should offload the stake. The world's richest person tweeted on Saturday that he would offload 10% of his stock if users approved the proposal in a Twitter poll. And on to the world continuing to battle COVID-19. Well, COVID-19 cases crossed 25 crore worldwide. The world recorded more than 22 crore 68 lakh recoveries from the disease. Fully vaccinated Indians would be able to travel to the United States from today. This will, however, have to show, they will, however, have to show a proof of a negative coronavirus test before boarding a flight to the country. As per the guidelines provided by the White House, unvaccinated minors will need to test at the same time as the adults with whom they are traveling, 3 days with vaccinated adults and 1 day with unvaccinated adults. Meanwhile, US-bound flights staged a dual takeoff from London's Heathrow Airport on Monday. Long-term rivals, British Airways and Virgin Atlantic, took off from parallel runways. From Monday, travellers who can show official proof of vaccination against COVID-19 and have had a recent negative viral test can again fly to the United States. Japan has recorded 0 COVID-19 deaths in a 24-hour period for the first time in 15 months, as Monday saw the easing of entry restrictions for some foreign nationals there. Sunday marked the first time since August 2nd last year that there was 0 deaths from coronavirus in a single day, according to the national broadcaster NHK on Monday. The Japanese government would shorten the COVID-19 quarantine period for vaccinated business travellers from overseas upon their arrival to 3 days, starting from today. The eased quarantine rules will apply to short-term business travellers who are inoculated with COVID-19 vaccines deemed effective by the Japanese authorities. Australia's largest city of Sydney further aims to ease social distancing curbs from today, a month after emerging from a coronavirus lockdown that lasted nearly 100 days. It has also eased international border curbs for the first time during the pandemic, but only for its vaccinated public from states with high levels of inoculation. Slovenia increased restrictions designed to curb COVID-19 pandemic amid worsening situation there. So from today, any gathering of people will be prohibited temporarily, apart from those within the same household. People will no longer be allowed to use ordinary textile face masks, but surgical masks or FFP2 masks in all indoor public spaces. Austria's latest measures to tackle the spread of coronavirus will likely stay in force over Christmas and New Year, as the country posted a record number of infections. Those not fully vaccinated against COVID-19 were barred from cafes, restaurants and hairdressers. The 2G rule, which requires proof of full vaccination or recovery, has also been put in place for hotel and cinema visits or events which have more than 25 people. In UK, people will soon be able to book their coronavirus vaccine 5 months on from their second jab, which is a month earlier than before. Booster shots will still be administered 6 months after the second dose. However, it is hoped that earlier booking will help speed up the rollout. Many Moscow residents were seen on Monday without the required face masks while using the metro on the first working day after the partial lockdown imposed by the Russian capital from October 28th to November 7th that ended. So Russia reported 1,190 coronavirus-related deaths in the past 24 hours. India has convened a high-level meeting of the regional countries over the situation in Afghanistan on 10th of November. The National Security Advisors of India, Russia, Iran and Central Asian countries will be attending this conference. The NSA-level meeting will be chaired by National Security Advisor of India, Ajit Doval. Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega is all set to win re-election after jailing top rivals and criminalizing most dissent following the vote that the United States said was a sham, whose outcome had long been predetermined. Libyan Prime Minister Abdullah Hamid al-Dabeiba intends to run for president as official registration for candidates opened today. Iran's military launched an annual exercise near the mouth of the Gulf on Sunday. The military exercise in Iran's coast on the Gulf of Oman displays the country's military might and readiness to confront the enemies. India is among the 27 countries to sign up to a Sustainable Agriculture Action Agenda at the conclusion of the first week of the COP26 summit underway in Glasgow, laying out new commitments to make farming more sustainable and less polluting. COP26 President Alok Sharma has asserted that negotiators in Glasgow must make an extra push over the next 24 hours to ensure sufficient progress is made to allow a successful outcome next week. Climate activists, meanwhile, continue to hold protests during the summit, adopting innovative ways to attract the attention of world leaders on concerning matters. So protesters, with the aid of music and dance, staged their demonstration in the centre of Glasgow on Sunday. At least 2 investigations and 1 civil lawsuit are underway into the deadly stampede during rap star Travis Scott's Astroworld music festival that killed at least 8 people and injured dozens in Houston. In Sri Lanka, gates of several reservoirs in the central province have been opened in view of heavy rains and flooding. Sri Lanka's irrigation department issued a pre-flood warning for the residents living close to several river basins in the country. Venice has been hit by seasonally high waters yet again, resulting in the flooding of the floating city. The tides this time rose as high as 1.44 meters in the city. Scores of colorful hot air balloons filled the skyline of Turkey's ancient Cappadocia region on Sunday. A time-lapse video captured the balloons as they painted over the unique volcanic rock landscapes. The clear blue sky led viewers to enjoy the scenery in one of the country's most popular tourist destinations. The 4th Oslo Light Festival lit up the city's streets with this year's theme focusing on the environment. The Nobel Peace Center, which every year promotes reflection around important topics, lit up by artist Hotaru Visual Gurella and their installation called Trans Nature. The outdoor installations were on display around central Oslo for 3 nights. A faithful copy of Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, dating from more than 400 years ago, will go under the hammer at a Paris auction on Tuesday, months after another reproduction of one of the world's most recognizable portraits sold for a record price. It estimates that the copy will fetch anything about 150,000 to 200,000 euros. Archaeologists have uncovered a room at a villa just outside Pompeii containing beds and other objects that shed light on the living conditions of slaves in the ancient Roman city, buried by a volcanic eruption. The room, in an excellent state of preservation, contains 3 wooden beds and a series of other objects including amphorae, ceramic pitchers and a chamber pot. Dutch Art and Design Museum Boijmans van Buingen opened its depot, a stunning mirrored warehouse to display the great bulk of its collection, normally kept in underground storage, hidden from public view. A special exhibition is being held to appreciate the beauty and geological values of Yongcheon Cave in South Korea's Jeju-do Island, a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site. The exhibition takes viewers on a tour inside the cave through VR experiences and 3D hologram photos. The South Korean government plans to deploy military aircraft this week to import 20,000 litres of urea water solution known as diesel exhaust fluid from Australia due to a shortage in the country. Customs inspections process for urea used in vehicles will be cut drastically to 3 to 5 days, although it's still far from the daily amount of urea needed in the nation. A series of video footages show the 3 astronauts of China's Shenzhou 13 mission enjoying a delicious meal in the space station core module Tianhe. The 3 Shenzhou 13 astronauts are on the country's longest ever crewed mission to build the Tiangong space station. Some 12.5 hectares of coastal forest in Singapore's Labrador Nature Reserve will be restored starting next year to protect biodiversity and ecosystems. The country is also studying how it can boost the ecological connectivity of the reserve, which is located on prime land. Ernesto's Barterelli Alinghi team won both the GC32 Menorma Cup on Spain's Costa Calida as well as the 2021 GC32 Racing Tour title. This week's GC32 Mar Menor Cup has been supported and hosted by Club Nautico Lopagan with the support of Turismo Region Murcia. After a blistering 5-race day, the conditions on Murcia's inland sea for the final day proved challenging with less wind than forecast. An annual fire drill was conducted in a World Heritage Village in central Japan. Residents and volunteer firefighters of Shirakawa village in Gifu Prefecture took part in the drill on Sunday. To protect houses with distinctive steep-angled thatched roofs, the drill is conducted every year around this time when the air gets dry. Squid fishing, which was suspended during the rainy season off the coast of Kantertai in Myanmar, has resumed operations due to the return of the season and is costing more than last year due to higher fuel prices. The local offshore boat costs between 15 million and 20 million kyats a month to catch a squid, and the small offshore boat costs between 50 million and 70 million kyats a month. Heavy snowfall battered many parts of China, disrupting traffic and impeding the supply of daily necessities, especially for people during quarantine. China's capital Beijing was hit by snow Sunday evening. The local meteorological center forecast the snowfall to last until Monday afternoon with a depth of up to 30 centimeters in some areas. Namsan, a small village in Loiling district, Shan state, was once a large village and became more tourist-friendly in the 1950s. 10 villages were established in October 1958 and Namsan was established in 1970. There are many places to visit in Namsan for domestic and foreign tourists. This is in Myanmar. Google on Monday dedicated a special doodle to Indian cell biologist Dr. Kamal Ranadive to mark her 104th birth anniversary. The global search engine celebrated Rana Deve's birthday as she is known for her groundbreaking cancer research and devotion to creating a more equitable society through science and education. High voltage clash between Leeds and Leicester City as Leeds United winger Rafinha's superb free kick was cancelled out by Leicester City forward Harvey Barnes in an entertaining 1-1 draw. West Ham defeated Liverpool 3-2 in the Premier League. The Reds' 25-match run without a loss was ended at the London Stadium as Jurgen Klopp's side had the look of a team that needs the international break. AC Milan missed the chance to go top of Serie A as they were held to a draw by rivals Inter in the Milan derby. Hakan Çalhanoğlu's penalty put Inter ahead early in the first half after he had been tripped inside the box. In table tennis, Manika Batra and Archana Girish Kamath bagged the women's doubles title at the World's Table Tennis Contender LASCO 2021 event, beating Puerto Rico's Diaz sisters. The ICC T20 World Cup 2021 has finally found its 4 semi-finalists in Pakistan, New Zealand, England and Australia out of the 12 teams in the main draw in United Arab Emirates. New Zealand clinically beat Afghanistan by 8 wickets to secure a place in the semi-finals of the Men's T20 World Cup and eliminate pre-tournament favourites India. Meanwhile, India and Namibia are set to cross swords in the 42nd match of the ongoing T20 World Cup 2021 on Monday at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium in Dubai. England opener Jason Roy will miss the knockout stages of the T20 World Cup after being ruled out with a torn left calf. Roy sustained the calf injury in the defeat by South Africa on Saturday in England's final group game. Red Bull's Max Verstappen celebrated a dominant win in the Mexico City Grand Prix to surge 19 points clear of Lewis Hamilton in the Formula One Championship. 6-time world champion MC Mary Kom was awarded the prestigious Padma Vibhushan, whereas world champion shuttler PV Sindhu conferred the Padma Bhushan by President Ramnath Kovind on Monday. The captain of the Indian women's hockey team, Rani Rampal, was awarded Padma Shri for leading the team to a 4th place finish at the Tokyo Olympics 2020. In football, Premier League champions Manchester City cruised to a 2-0 win over struggling Manchester United in their derby at Old Trafford. Chelsea FC will host the first safe-standing football match in the top flight for nearly 3 decades. The London club will play Liverpool at Stamford Bridge on January 2nd, with thousands of fans able to stand up throughout the game. In tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic overcame stubborn Daniil Medvedev in a 3-set thriller to claim the Paris Masters title in style and avenge his US Open defeat against the Russian. So with this win, Novak Djokovic secured the world number 1 status at year-end for a record 7th time. Canadian rapper Drake was a guest performer at Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival in Houston, where a crush of rap music fans pushing towards the stage killed at least 8 people and injured scores of others. Paul McCartney discussed a new book in which he looks back on his life, recounting how he wrote some of the world's most famous songs, from looking for inspiration on the bus to finding titles in dreams. Actor Mila Jovovich and singer Bebe Rexha were amongst the stars out for annual gala in Los Angeles, California. The black tie event, which drew stars including actors Meg Ryan and Bella Thorne, as well as model Paris Jackson, honored American designer Jeremy Scott. Hollywood superstar George Clooney has reportedly issued an open letter to publications asking them not to publish photos that show his children's faces. The letter, published by several trade magazines, says that photos of his children's faces puts them at a danger. Swedish supergroup ABBA released their first studio album in 40 years, but fans hoping for more music in the future will be disappointed to hear this might be the last new venture by one of the biggest selling brands of all time. Nepalese actor Manisha Koirala has opened up about her struggle with cancer. She shared a post on Instagram to commemorate the National Cancer Awareness Day on Sunday and wished love and success for those undergoing the arduous journey of cancer treatment. Bollywood stars are returning to India's big screens after more than a year, with the film industry hoping that declining COVID-19 cases and the festive season will bring audiences back to the cinemas. A huge crowd of excited Bollywood fans reached theatres after almost 2 years. Bollywood actress Bhagyashree is all excited about her son Abhimanyu Dasani's first Netflix film Meenakshi Sundareshwar, which premiered last Friday. The happy mom was recently seen dancing on the film's song Titar Bitar in an Insta reel. Bunty Aur Bubbly 2, starring Rani Mukherjee, Saif Ali Khan, Siddhant Chaturvedi and debutante Sharvari, is all set to release worldwide on November 19th this year. And Priyanka Chopra danced her heart out on the occasion of Diwali as she hosted a Diwali bash with husband Nick Jonas at her lavish Los Angeles home. Priyanka's viral videos from the festivities only prove that the Indian star takes her desi girl swag wherever she goes. So that's it in this edition of Express News. We will be back tomorrow, same time, with the top 100 news of the day. So until we meet again, you take very good care of yourself. Stay masked whenever you move out. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.